Welcome back to Wrenches in Motion and the continuation of the Red 97 Ranger project. So what we have here is probably attempt number 500 or so to get the transmission mated to the engine. I believe on most torque converters they lock in twice. Well, this one seems to want to lock in 3 times. Every time I would get it mated, I tried to turn the motor over and it would be locked up. I believe it was putting too much pressure on the pump of the transmission, not letting it spin. So I measured it at like 1.5 inches, and I've got 1 inch and almost a half pushed in now. So hopefully that'll work. The reason this has been taking so long is because I've been doing an engine swap in a 2016 GMC Acadia. That's coming along. All I'm waiting for now is a dipstick tube. If you can believe that, dipstick tube broke. Once I get that put back in, I can button it all up. Should only take about 4 hours to finish it, and then this thing should be done and gone. But until then, I mean, we got the Ranger still sitting back there, just waiting. And let's see if we can't get this engine and trans mated together somehow. Well, as luck would have it, the very first time I tried it, popped right on. And I can spin the engine over, so success. I have no idea why it took so long. No excuse. It didn't want to go, and now all of a sudden it just pops right in. So I will take that every day of the week. So let me see if I can get some more stuff done. Oh boy. It'd be real nice if I could push the Acadia out, pull the Ranger in, and get the motor in this weekend. But it's supposed to snow tomorrow, and it's supposed to be like 65 today. So maybe I'll just change plugs, put the exhaust manifolds on, and tighten up the valve covers. I can't put the top of the intake on yet because I need the holes for the engine hoist. Alright, so on the Red Ranger, I could not get these studs out. I tried to blow them out with a torch, and I actually ruined the manifold. So ordered a new one, no big deal. I do have to take the EGR off, and this nut of course is stripped, or this bolt. So I'm going to take this out because this is where it goes. If the hole in here is not big enough to use that bolt, then I don't know what I'm going to do, because I really don't want to use that one again. Also, it came with new studs, but no nuts. So now I got to go get nuts. And the other manifold that I ordered for the other side didn't even come with studs. So I got to go get studs. Yeah, I got the exhaust manifold on. Ended up taking a socket and pounding it on there, and it came right out. But I wanted to show you, this is an exhaust manifold for O'Reilly's, and I was really happy because it came with the studs. And then, oh, really? Let's try the other side. Nope, they don't fit. Alright, so we got bolts for the exhaust manifolds. Not really what I wanted. I wanted the studs, but of course can't find any. Starter's in, wire harness is on and partially hooked up. This manifold's in, plugs are in. I'm not going to do wires until after it goes in. Yeah, it's actually ready to drop in. I got the transmission lines on. Questioning those. It's easier to put them on out here, and hopefully they'll bend out of the way when I go to put it in. I know I took it out with the lines on, so it should go back in with the lines on. And that's about it for today on the Ranger engine. It's ready to go. Well, welcome back. It's another beautiful day. It's about 38 degrees outside. don't know if you can take a look over here. The Acadia engine swap is done. Just wait for them to come pick that up. So now I'm back on the Red Ranger, and as you can see, we got the engine and trans ready to go back in, and hopefully we can stab this thing in shortly and carry on from there. I don't know if I'm gonna have to tilt it some more to get the tail shaft under the firewall, probably. And then once I get it in, I'm gonna have to support the back of the trans because the exhaust goes over the top of the cross member that holds the transmission in. So I'll put the trans jack under there just to support it, and then once I get the exhaust on, then I'll go ahead and put the cross member in. Well, as luck would have it, we got the engine in, got the power steering pump bolted back in. Still got to do all the wiring, the upper intake, a bunch of stuff here, and then we'll get underneath and do the exhaust so that we can put the transmission cross member back in. Okay, so the Red Ranger is going together pretty well. We got the fuel hooked up, most of the vacuum lines and stuff are hooked up, most of the electricals hooked up. Still got to run plug wires, and my tool to put the pulley on the power steering is broke, so I got to go rent one of those. Still got these water hoses here. I've got a new valve because the heater valve always breaks. Those plug wires are just laying in there for reference. And then alternator, AC compressor, the pulley down there. Let's talk about the exhaust real quick. In order to get it out, I had to cut spring bolts. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut it right here. Hopefully I can bang them out. I don't think they're threaded in. And we'll see how that goes. I've got new spring bolts. Oh, I forgot to get this gasket. Oh, I can't believe it. Shoot. I'm going to have to get that gasket too. Once I get the engine finished up top, I'm going to jack it up, crawl underneath, and I was going to put the exhaust on. And not until I get a new gasket. So here's the heater valve, and as you can see, that one broke. That's going to the heater core. My only concern is trying to get the plastic out of the other hose. Here's the new one. So we're going to do it just like that. Take one hose off at a time, pop them on there, and then hopefully we can hook up the heater lines. The replacement was pretty easy. I just took channel locks, squeezed the hose, broke the plastic in pieces, and it just kind of fell right out. So got that done. Time to put this on, and then I think I'm going to do plug wires next. So we got the water hoses installed. We got the vacuum for the heat valve, and there's a hole right there in the line, so we're going to have to cut it, and it should be long enough, so we'll still be good. However, the cruise control vacuum line is going to be way too big to fit in there, so we're going to have to do something, figure out how we're going to get that in there. I really wanted to take it off at the union here, but that's the way it came out, so that's the way we're going to have to try to put it back together. The cylinder order is 1, 2, 3 on the passenger side first, and then 4, 5, 6 on the driver's side. And if you look at the coil pack, you'll see it's numbered with what goes where, so it should be fairly easy to put these plug wires in. So we're not going to be able to use the NGK wires because you try to push it down and it won't go. Look at the diameter of this, and look at the diameter of the stock ones. Stock ones pop on just like they should. NGKs, not so much. So we're going to use the old wires. They were working, the truck was running fine, so we're going to use those and keep on plugging. I don't know what we're going to do with these NGKs, but we're definitely not going to use them on this. Alright, so I had to go to O'Reilly's, got some plug wires. Those are on. And now I'm going to do the power steering pulley, which is right here. And what you do is you get your pulley remover and installer kit, figure out which size thread goes inside there, which is that one. And then what you're going to do is run this through the pulley, hold this end, and turn that end down the threads, and that'll push the pulley onto the shaft. Alright, so we're putting the fan in, and one thing to remember about the fan is that it is reverse threaded. This goes onto the water pump right here, and if you shove a screwdriver in here, you can hold the water pump shaft and tighten it. But until you get to that point, what you can do is what I do. I don't know if I can stop the camera here for a second. Is I just grab the pulley and go ahead and tighten it. Now this works up until you get to a certain point where you really got to tighten it up, and then you go ahead and use the screwdriver. So that's that trick. So when we left last night, we had pretty much everything done up here, and as I was starting to hook the exhaust up, I realized it was not going to fit. So at 3 o'clock this morning, I had this bad feeling that I had to put the exhaust in place first and then lower the engine and trans in, because as it turns out, the exhaust, stay with me for a second, the exhaust has to go over this, and there's no way to get it right now. So what I'm going to do is, there's a flange right there. I'm going to cut the bolts off of there, and hopefully I can finagle this thing up in there. So I hope you liked part 3 of the video. We're going to finish it up in part 4, and that should be a wrap on the 97 Ford Ranger. Coming up, we've also got a 2001 Ford Escape, so be sure to tune in for that video. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment below, and I will talk to you next time.